Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Of course, here with Kurt. An exciting two-parter video today. First one, we're going to talk about the FreeDish auction. Got a lot of questions about some of the bigger channels leaving and what that means for the queue. So we'll definitely talk about that. And then we're going to do kind of new advertisers or current advertisers on a new channel and the big upside there. But Kurt, first things first, how are you?
Great, man. I'm doing a lot better than I was 2 weeks ago. I like when the share price is going up.
Yeah, thinking we did a video a few weeks ago where we're like, why could we be at whatever, and here we go 2 weeks later, definitely looking good
and onward from here.
Well, it looks like some good momentum. Like, let's talk about this FreeDish auction. Number one, people asking, oh, how much did it cost? But then the bigger pieces are, what does it mean for the overall kind of FreeDish platform with these big channels leaving? And then is there a huge kind of upside for the queue still being on it? But pick wherever you want to go, and let's start there.
Well, yeah, a couple things. One is, in India, you pay for distribution on cable and satellite platforms. That's the model. And the thing that's important about that model is you do a model on our side and say, okay, we've got to generate this many GRP and this much, therefore, revenue out of that platform in order to make the carriage fees worthwhile. What the benefit is that if you pay, X and your GRP and ratings and revenue go up to, here, this doesn't go up at all. This is static. It stays where it is. It doesn't increase with your ratings and revenue. It stays the same. If you go the other direction below, then you're in trouble, right? Because you're not even meeting your distribution costs. So when you get into these auctions, it's all about doing that analysis and saying, are we going to be profitable? Are we going to be making more money than we're spending on this distribution on this particular platform? FreeDish for a while now has been a very, very attractive platform, but also a very expensive one. In the auction, and every year it's the same thing. Every year, the first week of March, there's an auction that's held, and it literally is an auction. And your people are at the computers and people are bidding, and there's a starting bidding point, and it's an auction to get there. And a lot of people drop out of the bidding because they don't want to spend that much money. And, people make their decisions along the way. We kind of know, one investor asked me, oh God, are you threatened every year that you can't get onto FreeDish? The answer to that is not really. We can always get onto FreeDish every year. We just might pay more than we want to be on FreeDish. This year, we actually paid 1.1 crore less than what we did last year. That was just because of us being more knowledgeable and how to play the game, et cetera, et cetera. So we actually paid this year about 100 and, whatever that is, 180, 200,000 Canadian less for this year, from April 1 to March 31st. But what happened that was not expected was that the big four channels, which are run by Viacom, Sony, Disney, and Z, all decided not to renew their license on FreeDish. And it's a very complicated explanation. I'm not going to go into all the complications. I'll just say that they're also pay channels, and they really shouldn't be allowed to be on a free system. So they skirted the rules, and the government and the other pay guys. It was a big controversy over the course of the last year. And ultimately, they made the decision that they were going to step off of FreeDish. Well, we're number 7 on FreeDish right now in weekly ratings. There's the 4 that are 1 through 4, the big guys. Then there's Dongle, which is the largest independent, which is number 5. Then there's another Sony-owned property that sits next, and then we're number 7. Well, we've been thrilled with being number 7. It's driven our ratings, et cetera. Well, guess what? When the big 4 go away, what just happened? Dongle number 5 became number 1. Number 6 becomes number 2, and we become number 3. So you can make an argument that right now we're number 3 on FreeDish. Now, what's going to happen? There's going to be a battle for all that viewership by everyone. It doesn't matter whether they're a news channel, a devotional channel, an entertainment channel, whatever they might be. And we're going to be in that battle. But we think we're extremely well advantaged because we're an entertainment channel. So all those were entertainment channels. So the first place we expect that audience to go is to channels like ours. And trust me, we're working around the clock right now to prepare to take advantage of April 1st onward to gain more market share and audience on FreeDish. And I'm certain we will do it. It's just a question of how big will it be?
So walk me through the kind of math. I mean, at least you guys are thinking of. So these four leave. How much does that represent? How many viewers? How much rating does it carry 1 to 1? Like, oh, if a ton of let's say 300 GRP leaves, is there 300 left for other people, or is it still back to? Do we think viewership of overall FreeDish is going to go down because these guys are leaving? Like, just
No,
curious.
no, not really. I mean, actually, the conventional wisdom I would say is that FreeDish will continue to grow as it's been growing. FreeDish is taking more market share because, there's cord cutters and young audiences and people want stuff for free. It's the same thing that's happening everywhere. And it's, I've always said India's kind of 5 years-ish behind what's happening in North America. So about 5 years ago, you started to see the pay guys numbers start to drop on Comcast, DirecTV, Dish here in the US, Rogers, Shaw in Canada, et cetera, and fighting for subscribers. Same thing's happening in India now, 5 years later. What's happening is the free platforms like FreeDish are growing in users. So we not to brag on ourselves or pat ourselves on the back, we anticipated this. We knew this would be happening. That's why we created a free to air channel. That's why we made the decision to be free. We knew our audience of 25 or 30 and under somethings were going to want things that were free. And so it was a tactical decision and strategic decision that was made. So we view this as all of this to our advantage. Again, the size of that advantage, I don't know. To your question, those big four represented on FreeDish on a weekly basis, probably roughly plus or minus 300 GRP. So you could make the argument that starting April 1st, there's 300 GRP up for grabs, okay? Well, are we gonna get 100 of that? No, of course not. That's ridiculous. It's not gonna happen, okay? Could we get 10% of it? I honestly don't know. I don't think that's possible. I don't think it's impossible. Can it boost us that now that we're sitting over the last 6 months averaging about 35 GRP, could that bounce us up to 45? Yeah, I think that's very possible. And what does that translate into? It just translates into dollars, translates into more money. And so now that we've reduced our carriage fees, that we look to increase our revenue from that platform, it's thumbs up all the way around. And it's just really a matter of how big will the impact be. I mean, I don't want to mislead anyone, but this happened in 2019. Same exact thing. There were pay guys, they left. FreeDish at that point had less channels on it overall. Dongle, which it was transformative for Dongle, were about 70 GRP back then. They shot up to 210. Okay, so I'm not suggesting that's going to happen to us. I'm just saying that the effect on them was profound. I'm predicting the effect on us will be somewhere between positive and profound.
Hey, either way, and I saw someone comment a bunch of people that are, whether they're large or small, leaving, giving the Q more market share is always a good thing. So
yeah, it's exciting for us.
And of course, the biggest question was always, why are they leaving? Why are they leaving? But I think you touched on that perfectly. Well, they kind of are pay to play channel, and of course, kind of on FreeDish doesn't fit, and a lot of
on pay platforms, they get paid per subscriber, so they get X rupees per subscriber. They don't get paid on FreeDish. We're a free-to-air channel. We don't get paid on the pay platforms we're on, and we don't get paid on FreeDish on a per subscriber basis. It's all ad revenue based. So they were playing both sides of the game. They were on both sides, basically. It was very controversial, and because of the controversy and their desire to keep their pay partners happy and keep paying them, they left the platform. That's kind of the bottom line.
Yeah. Got it. Well, hey, exciting times. We get to see those ratings in a couple of weeks. So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Look, the other thing I'll say is that this is a long, we're, as everybody knows, we're in this for the long haul. So this is what happens over the course of this next year, and not just even next week, but it's over what happens next year. And, we anticipate, look, this is nothing but good news for us. There's no bad news here. This is 100% good news for us. We saved on our carriage fees, and we're about to grow our share. All good stuff.
Amazing. Well, then let's keep the momentum going. Let's dive into, talk to me about these four, national advertisers. I think everyone probably knew almost all the names, if not all the names. Do you want to kind of walk us through the new advertisers, or at least the advertisers on the new channel?
Sure. I mean, everybody knows Pepsi. Everybody knows L'Oreal. A lot of people might not know Reckitt. It's actually Reckitt Benckiser. It's a German fast-moving consumer goods FMCG company. It's massive. It's one of the biggest companies in the world in that area. And Himalaya is the largest homegrown pharmaceutical and wellness company in India. They actually distribute outside of India as well, but India is where the company started. It's huge. So these are four of the largest television advertisers and just advertisers in general in the world, and certainly in the country of India. And the thing that's exciting for us is that people that have followed us, you certainly know this. I mean, I don't know, it took us 3 years, I guess I would say, maybe longer. I could maybe argue 4 years to get those kinds of companies to advertise on Q India. And that all began last year, almost a year ago to this day, when we started adding those brands on. And we obviously hired Simran Hoon as our CEO because of her great experience and relationships in the ad world, having run Viacom's advertising business for 20 years, or 10 years rather. And so we have created deep and strong relationships with the top agencies and brands in India at this point through the Q Hindi channel. Well, guess what? That makes it one hell of a lot easier to have discussions about, hey, we're launching a new channel, we're going after this, we're doing that, et cetera. So we're seeing the immediate benefits of that. If we were just, if we were launching the Q Marathi and it was just some channel and it was a bunch of us trying to get that out there, we'd go through the same thing. It'd take us 3 years to get there. That's just the nature of the beast. We did it in, really like 6 weeks. And so the reality is that this demonstrates the synergies of launching more channels. This is the whole dream. This is what we're building. We're going to have 3 channels, 2 broadcast, 1 digital, with Q Kahania running in India. Investors can assume that you're going to see more down the road, probably this year, and maybe sooner than later. So the bottom line is that now it's leverage, right? We're going to leverage those relationships. We're going to leverage those capabilities. We're going to leverage our ability to not have to hire as many people to run these channels as you would if we weren't already running a channel. All these things contribute to being able to do it in a cost-effective way and be able to monetize it faster as we come out of the gate. So this is also extremely positive and big news for us.
Someone called it a launch pad. I think it's kind of interesting. You guys are building this incredible launch pad. You have all these great relationships with advertisers. You've got all the other things alongside that make a great channel. And hey, you want something that fits into a great new target. Bang, here you go. You already have all the supporting pieces around it, which I think is pretty interesting analogy. So
yeah, I mean, we're, our game plan. I mean, I've talked about this a lot with you and with others. I mean, we're trying to build a major sort of next generation media company in India, not a single channel business. That's always been the goal. And so, my goal by this year is to have 4, maybe 5 channels running in India across broadcast and digital. And that's what we're working on right now, among a lot of other things as well. But it's all designed to leverage the foundation, which was the Q Hindi channel.
Yeah, and a question for you. Someone asked, and I think it's a good question. You were starting with these advertisers, of course, looking to add more throughout the year and success of the channel. Do these advertisers sign like a year-long or like cross multiple platform type deals, or do they just sign a, hey, yeah, we want to try the first couple of months and see how it goes?
It depends on the advertiser. We do have deals that can last as long as 6 to 12 months. We have others that last, 4 to 6 weeks. So it depends on the advertiser. There's also 2 kinds of ads in India. One is what's called ER, effective rate. That's a set rate that you pay X rupees per 10 seconds of ad time, and that stays constant. There's another one which is based on your rating point. So you negotiate a deal and say, okay, we're going to base this on 35 GRP, and if it bounces up to 50 GRP, you actually get more money for that ad. So you sell it at a rate. If it goes down, you end up having to do what are called make goods. So, there's a negotiation that goes on there. So if we have deals that are based on that model going into April, if our ratings do bounce up, we'll gain the effect of that from a revenue perspective immediately.
Yeah. No, interesting. And obviously with the expectation that we're going to gain a bunch from a bunch on FreeDish, a bunch of GRP, that having some of those deals cut like that, where if ratings go up, you guys make more money, is of course fantastic. So look, very interesting. A lot of people, I think that answers some good questions, but a lot of people excited. Tons of great momentum, and I guess we're only a few weeks away from really seeing the effect of these big four leaving FreeDish. Anything you wanted to get into, kind of the advertisers or FreeDish kind of?
Well, I just think the other thing I would say is, I mean, some people that I know that really follow us closely are aware of this. What people don't really see, and I don't necessarily talk about a lot, is how much more visible our brand is becoming in India. We have a great PR team in India, both for trade and for public through our Times of India relationship. And so what's happening in real time right now is that the effect of launching more of these channels, reaching the Marathi community, et cetera, you know, this becomes additive as well. And so I've received, you know, I won't say who, I just got off with a very, very prominent guy in the India media space before this call. And, you know, he's kind of a legendary dude in the India media space, and he wanted to touch base because everybody there is kind of going, who are these guys? You know, so we're starting to really build a presence in India. We're continuing, trust me, the pedal is down to the metal on going further with all of this. And so we believe that this year, you know, where we were sort of the new upstart last year, we believe this year we're going to really establish ourselves as the up and comer to keep an eye on in the India media marketplace. And that's the goal.
Amazing. Well, on that, I think that's a perfect way to end it. A lot of little teasers for things to come. I know we haven't talked about Times at India and kind of PR in a while, and other things happening to advertise the channel. Maybe we put that in a video coming up. I think there'd be a lot of good questions about it. But Kurt, thanks so much for joining. Congratulations. Tons of great momentum. And I want to say thank you on behalf of everyone else that watches.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. Thanks to all our shareholders. Let's keep it going.